In July, I filmed a video on how Puerto Vallarta is handling the pandemic, and since then I've gotten so many messages asking for an update. Now, I was surprised a lot has changed since July, and with those recent updates and the return of high season, I figured it called for a little update for those of you guys who have trips coming up here in winter that you're wondering, should I postpone or not? This is the video for you. Let's get started. Hey travelers, my name is Juliana and that's my husband Martín. We've been traveling around the world for 4 years and fitting it into our lives any way possible, whether that be volunteering in hostels, working on cruise ships, taking short weekend adventures, or living as expats working remotely. Our goal is to show you how to have unique and memorable trips, no matter what your circumstances. Just a disclaimer before we get started, this video is intended to provide the facts and my observations about what it's like here in Vallarta. However, I am not an expert and I can't make the decision for you of if you want to travel or not. Everybody's preferences and everybody's risks are totally different, and that's not a decision that I feel comfortable making. What I am going to be showing you in this video is the facts. I'll be showing you various scenes from places around town so that you can make the best decision for yourself. And by the way, if you want to hear why I'm in a different place than normal and what I've been up to in the past few weeks, as well as my own personal opinions about traveling to Vallarta, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm putting it there so I don't bore all the people who are here just for the good information. Let's get started. As of today, there are estimated to be 384 cases per million people in Jalisco, and hospitals are occupied at a rate of 21%. Overall, the state of Jalisco is still in code orange, which is where we left off in July, and under that code they do say to stay home if possible. In terms of testing, it is available here in Puerto Vallarta at the CMQ Hospital, San Mare, and Hospiten for 4,500 pesos, or for free at the University of Guadalajara, Puerto Vallarta, Diagnostic Laboratory, and the Secretaría de Salud de Jalisco. Next up, hotels. Last time we spoke, hotels were open up at a 25% capacity. However, it has been increased to 50% capacity now. Along with this, they are allowed to open up swimming pools, gyms, spas, the beaches in front of a hotel, and restaurants. So pretty much the experience is back to normal here. And there definitely are people coming here. I would say that the hotel we are currently at, Club Regina, does have lots of visitors, and the hotel is following procedures. Before I came here, when I was doing my research on what travel is like here at the moment, I had saw somebody's comment that said they feel safer in Vallarta than they do in some parts of the USA. And being here at this hotel, I can definitely see why a statement like that would be true. There are glass barriers between us and the receptionist when checking in. There are hand sanitizer stations everywhere, and the staff is constantly cleaning. I remember waking up a couple days ago, looking out the window and seeing them wiping down all the pool chairs and even vacuuming the pool chairs. I've never seen a vacuum on the beach before, but hey, there's a first for everything. And I have even seen them enforcing people to wear masks around the property. Of course, you don't need to wear a mask when you're eating, when you're in the pool, or when you're far away from other people, like when you're sitting on the beach. Also, obviously, in your room as well. And speaking of the room, when we arrived to our hotel room, there's a sticker on the door to show that the door had not been opened since the sanitization had taken place. Also, all of our towels were individually wrapped in plastic, and they informed us that maid service would only happen 2 times a week to limit the exposure to other people. They even gave us a few masks in our room as well. Overall, I'd say I felt very, very comfortable in a hotel, and I would say that being at a hotel and spending most of your time during your vacation there is going to be a very safe experience. Now, what happens outside the hotel, that's a whole other matter we're going to get into in a second. What about transportation? You guys know I love the public bus in Vallarta, but I wouldn't recommend riding it right now. In fact, recent reports have shown that buses haven't properly been sanitized since July, and local government is having a hard time enforcing drivers to wear masks as well as passengers. Overall, it just seems like a petri dish for infection to happen, so I wouldn't go to the bus if I were you. As far as Ubers, there are rules in Uber now that say that the driver and the passenger do have to wear a mask, and both parties are prompted to report in case those things aren't happening. Drivers are also encouraged to keep their vehicles clean, but this is never going to be something that Uber could possibly enforce for every car that's here. And I imagine it's a similar sort of situation with taxis as well. So if I were you, I would bring some hand sanitizer and wash your hands often, you filthy animals. Now what about the glorious Malecon, my favorite place in Vallarta? Well, this time around it is completely open on all sides. Before, half of it had been blocked off. There is signage all around to wear a mask, and you'll notice that a lot of the vendors are back and selling food. As you can see from this footage, I would say about 30% of the people here aren't wearing masks, and I do see lines forming where people are not separated. This just looks like typical pre-pandemic footage if you ask me. Previously, restaurants had already been opening at 20% capacity, but I have noticed even more opening now that it has been raised to 50% capacity. Previously, a lot of restaurants did offer delivery, and that is still a feature that is being offered to this day, which I love. Oh, and by the way, those mats you see in front of all the restaurants and stores, those are for you to step into. They're filled with hand sanitizer, and then it's usually followed by another mat right after to dry off. The most significant change you'll notice in Vallarta is that bars and clubs are allowed to be open with 50% capacity. Before, we saw a lot of bars pretending to be restaurants, which was causing quite a scandal, but this time around they are allowed to be open and call themselves a bar. Beaches have been open since July, and as you can see from the shots here, people are definitely visiting them. You should be at least 6 feet apart from other people, but in all honesty, I haven't myself seen this being enforced. Of course, places like beach resorts or restaurants that are on the beach are spacing out tables, but for those who are actually bringing their own umbrellas to the beach, I don't see anybody going around making sure everybody is spaced out accordingly. If I were you, I'd play it safe and visit some of the lesser known beaches if you are interested in visiting the beach during your time in Vallarta. I actually have a video on Maito and Tehuamixle up on my channel, which are undiscovered beaches that are absolutely beautiful, so make sure you watch that video after this. By the way, if you are watching this, you clearly like Puerto Vallarta a lot. I wanted to let you know I do have an ebook available over on the Kindle store and on my Patreon called Puerto Vallarta Like a Local. It shows all my favorite restaurants, bars, things to do when it's raining, and more. It's available for $3 for all of our Patreon members or $3.99 in the Kindle store. Best of all, even if you don't have a Kindle, you can download the Kindle app to your phone so you can have the guide on your phone while you travel. I'll leave the link to everything down below. Now, why am I here at this hotel? I wanted to provide a little bit of clarity because these past few months have been pretty crazy. We actually left Vallarta mid-September to go to Cuernavaca, which is where Martín is from, for him to fill in for an open position at his family's business. So we spent some time there, and then I'm here right now actually with my mom, who's just here for a 1-week vacation. I wanted to keep her company. Next week, I'm going to be heading to California to visit my family with Martín for about a month or 2, and then we don't know where we're going to end up. We're still waiting for the visa to be approved for him, so we're kind of just taking things 1 month at a time. I'm not quite sure when I will be back in Vallarta. Now, when we were in Cuernavaca and previously in Vallarta, we spent a lot of time indoors, more than what it looked like on YouTube. We kind of bulked our filming to be done in little spurts, but really spent a lot of time indoors. And I am so surprised coming back here to see how much it's changed. It really feels like it is back to normal, like it is just business as normal, plus we wear masks. It's just felt a lot more lax here in general, which is weird. I don't know how I feel about it. For me, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I can see the benefit of the locals being able to work again, which is so needed for this economy here. However, it is also scary at the same time to think that the amount of tourists coming in, especially those who aren't using masks, could lead to an uptake in cases. I'm an Enneagram 9, which means I'm the peacemaker. I see both sides, and I just want everybody to be happy. But I guess if I had to leave you with my final thoughts, I would say this. If you can stay home, I would recommend it, but if you do insist on coming to Puerto Vallarta, follow these 3 rules. Number 1, support local businesses. They are especially hurting during this time. Support places like my favorite restaurant, Gabby's Restaurant, and my favorite place to get a massage with the sweetest staff, Athena Spa. It's way more beneficial to help out small businesses than going to big chains. Second, tip and tip big if you can. The average tip is 10 to 15%, but when you keep in mind that minimum wage in Mexico is 123 pesos a day, which is just over $6 a day, Tips make all the difference. I have been so pleased to hear about all the random acts of kindness that expats are doing here to provide even larger tips to servers. I think that's just amazing. And last but not least, number 3, wear a mask. I can see the comments now. She's a sheep, but it is the truth, guys. If you have the privilege to be able to travel right now, at least follow the rules. As you guys saw those shots on the Malecon, a lot of people weren't wearing masks, and I think it's just important out of the courtesy of the people who actually live here to make sure that they are going to be protected and wear a mask when you're here. I said what I said, and that's the tea. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. It's this huge goal I've had for years, and every subscription helps to make it happen, and it's free for you. It means the world to me. I also have tons of videos over on my channel of things to do in Puerto Vallarta, so check those out. So long, travel well, and make the world your neighborhood. See you guys next time. Bye! Hey, thanks for watching this video. Did you know we have a Patreon? All our members get access to monthly income reports, exclusive podcasts, access to our private Facebook group, and even a copy of my ebook, Puerto Vallarta Like a Local. Business and first class patrons also get a postcard from us each month. Thanks so much for the support. Click the Patreon logo on this screen to join our family.